Good day everyone, and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And since I was away last week, this week we'll cover 2 weeks, so let's start right away. First up, in the previous week we got some fan art competition highlights, which are definitely amazing, so if you're interested in these kind of things, definitely check it out. Also, you probably already have, but still, if you didn't, do that. And we also got some Incursion League area stats, and we got various stats. So first up, number of instances created, so the top areas which were entered. First one is Burial Chambers, and that's just because you can drop the Doctor Divination card, which is extremely rare and extremely valuable. Other than that, Temple of Azotl, so GGG is pretty happy about the fact that people are actually engaging into the new league mechanic, which is also really good, and that's why people are actually engaging in it. The other ones are farming places, so that's not surprising. Also, raw number of deaths per area. Again, the Temple of Azotl, because it's pretty hard especially for newer players, and everyone and their mothers are getting into the temple, so definitely going to get some deaths there. Also, if you level up some rooms, you definitely get a challenge in there. And the Burial Chambers, which is the most played map, so no surprise there. The other ones are just very hard places, for example, Kitavas in Act 10, in the Feeding Trough, and all the kind of stuff. And also average death per instance, and no surprisingly, again, the Feeding Trough, and the Hall of Grandmasters, which kind of tends to kill you if you are careless. Shaper Realms, Alluring Abyss, all these kind of cool places, and very hard places where one mistake can actually kill you. Also, we got another streamer interview, this time has been with Havoc616, who's been part of the streaming community for quite a while, and he's been very relevant, especially in the past, in the early days when the game actually came out. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. Also, we got a new build of the week, which is called Spellicopter, and that's because you basically play it with your mouse wheel, binding weapon swap to your mouse wheel, which apparently is much faster than binding it and pressing your keys, and basically works in the way that you craft 4 weapons with Essence of Insanity on them. This creates 3 spectral spirits every time you actually equip your weapon. So you equip one set, you get 6 spirits, and then you swap and the spirits dies, and then thanks to couple unique items, you get damaged when the spirits dies. So you use a cast when damage is taken, and you deal a lot, and you cast a lot of spells every time you spell swap. It's not that easy to explain, but if you check the video, you'll definitely understand how it works. All it means is that you bind your weapon swap to your mouse wheel and run around pretty much killing everything else, and you must be a juggernaut to actually mitigate all the damage you take. Other than that, it's not really easy to get it started, so it's definitely not a starter build, but it's a pretty cool build, so if you got some currency stacked out, you can definitely try out, really fun. We also got another streamer interview, this time with Mathil, who's been on the rise in the last couple of years especially, and well, it's probably, I have been kind of out of the streaming life for a while, but it's definitely one of the top streamers right now, probably the top one in Path of Exile, and it's definitely really interesting. It kind of does a lot of builds and plays them from start to finish, so it's definitely interesting. He also does some YouTubing explaining the builds he's played, how it works and all the kind of stuff, so very interesting and very useful if you're trying to improve your game, so definitely check it out if you are interested in that. Also, GGG is getting on the ball with some trade side improvements. So first up, they are adding a compact mode and a compact 2-column mode, where basically you have a bit less information on the screen, making it a bit more compact, a bit more easier to watch, especially if you don't want, or if you don't use all of the informations that they used to put on the screen, and that is definitely really good. Also, you can see if a mod is a prefix, a suffix, or a hybrid, which that's incredible, because that is extremely useful for crafting purposes. You can also see if an item has an empty prefix or a suffix, which is incredibly good for potential crafting. So you should definitely beyond the ball when you are on the market, because all of these things can make an item really valuable or really crap even if it looks good. There's also a new live search improvement where basically you can get web notifications for live searches, which is definitely really good if you're using your Firefox or whatever, and you get a notification from this. Definitely works, definitely really useful. So actually great news from GGG, because to be honest I've always been using the POEXYZ as I always did, because it felt like it was easier to use and I was used to it. But now I might just try and switch, and it should be about time, to be honest, because GGG is planning pretty much to take over that until then people should just get a bit used to the trade site on the official site. Also, we got the winners from the fan art competition, and well, congratulations to all of the winners, and good job to everyone who participated, because I've seen some really good artwork in there. And well, you can just check it out. There's top 10, top 20 winners, runners up. It's nice to see that GGG is actually giving prizes to a lot of players, and it's nice to see that GGG is kind of building up a community by doing a lot of these fire competitions. So hopefully they start another one soon, just as soon as they did with this one after the previous one. Again, it's always good to see GGG do these kind of things, because it gets the community going and it gets it to be a bit more alive, instead of just being on Reddit complaining for something or just posting the random stuff. Also, another build of the week, which is very similar to the previous one. Again, it works on custom when damage taken. This time it uses the Rat's Nest unique, which grants basically that you take some of the fire damage that you take, you convert it to physical damage, which works with the cast when damage taken and then triggers your spells. You use Aberrath Hoost, which are the unique boots, where basically when you walk you hit all around you and you deal fire damage, so you can ignite enemies, and you will ignite enemies all of the time walking around them. And then with the Eye of Innocence unique stuff, you get damaged yourself when you ignite an enemy. That damage is converted by the Rat Cage, as I said before, to physical damage, which trigger your cast when damage taken. It's a very interesting sequence, and this build uses a lot of uniques, and it's a juggernaut, because you need to mitigate all of the damage you take, but after that you just walk around, trigger Val Molten Shell and go pretty much crazy. It's a very intensive build because you need to run really fast, you cannot stop for a moment, so you definitely need to put a lot of effort into this build, but it's one of these very fun builds you can never get tired of. So really interesting stuff, and I'm glad GG is going for all of these crazy random builds instead of just the most cookie cutter builds like Fire Trap or whatever. And also GG announced a new Incursion Flashback event, which is gonna run from the 4th of August to the 28th, so it's gonna run alongside the last month of the Incursion Challenge League, and you will be able to complete the challenges in this event as well, so that's really good. Every area will have 3 additional league mods along with the Incursion, which is always gonna be present. And you can see all of the things that are going to be here, like Anarchy, Invasion, Breach, Ambush, Torment, Perandus, Beyond, Nemesis, Bloodlines, Abyss, and Harbinger. So all of the good leagues are definitely in there. And of course there are prizes. As usual, if you reach level 35, you will instantly be awarded an Apocalypse Mystery Box, which is possible only once per account again. After that, you will enter a random raffle for all of these prizes you see here. And if you get, for example, level 95, you can enter this raffle, but you are also entering all of the previous ones as well. So it's definitely really good. There's also a couple of question and answers. If you are interested in this, be sure to check them out, because they are relevant. For example, you cannot respec your Ascendancy class, so that is really important to know. Definitely check those out if you are going to play into this event. And yeah, I guess that was all for these 2 weeks. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Zorzo, and I'll see you guys the next time.